When you're eating hot dog, traveling down a road, looking at a wall, or even seeing a dachshund, does it ever cross your mind what are the longest things in the world? So of course, if you wondered or did not wonder, let's talk about the longest things, starting with the longest downhill on Earth. Now this is for people who like traveling or just simply enjoy going downhill, such as skateboarders, roller skaters, bikers, motorcyclers, hikers, bakers, BMXers. The 117 kilometers or 72 miles downhill road located in Peru, with the descent beginning at Conococha to Paramonga. It is a constant, long descent from Andes to sea level, with an altitude that begins at 4,095 meters and ends at 16 meters. If you are on a bike, your approximate time of descent is 2 to 4 hours without having to pedal much. Just pedal 1 or 2 times, hold on to your dear bike because your life literally depends on it. Exceed 80 to 100 kilometers per hour and you die, especially if your brakes decided to abandon you at the last moment. As for motorcycles, your estimated time is 1 to 2 hours, and if you still have the will to live, don't exceed 100 to 140 kilometers per hour, especially because there are unexpected trucks and sharp turns. Next are for cars or vehicles with the expected time of 1.5 to 2.5 hours of descent, but don't ever exceed 80 to 120 kilometers per hour for your own good. Now keep in mind that if you think constant braking is good, it's not. Constant braking means overheating. Also, if you're up for the strong breeze and fun feeling of going downhill, scratch it. Trucks drive slowly in this area for safety, so traffic is common. The upper part is also foggy, reducing drivers' visibility. So of course, with all the risks, many accidents have already happened, and if you don't feel like adding up to the numbers, just take a different route. Now, if there's the longest downhill, then there's also the longest uphill. So you think, why are they different? Couldn't the longest downhill just be the longest uphill? Well, the reason for that is, I don't know. Okay, so based on my research, it's because there's a difference between the time of ascent and descent due to gravity, which affects speed, expenditure, energy, and routing. Moving on, the longest uphill in this world is the Mauna Loa Observatory Road in Hawaii. It is a 17.2-mile trail leading to the 11,500-foot level on Mauna Loa. It is a scenic, steep, and narrow one-lane road. However, the road is partially obstructed at roughly 8,895 foot due to lava flows in the year 2022, making the observatory and the hiking trails largely inaccessible. Therefore, it was blocked for the public by NOAA. It was also known as Death March by hikers because it is high altitude, high elevation, has very difficult terrain, and is remote. So of course, it was not a popular walk for casual tourists. But enough with roads, let's talk about the longest river. Now when I say the word longest and river in the same sentence, I bet you thought of the Nile River in Africa, which is correct, and if you didn't, that's too bad. Either way, the Nile River in Egypt is the world's longest recorded river at roughly 6,650 to 6,853 kilometers long. It flows northward through northeastern Africa, traversing 11 countries before emptying into the Mediterranean Sea. The early Romans explored its source and now recognize south of the equator as the start, with its most distant source in the Kagera River in Burundi. Moreover, it has 2 major tributaries, the White Nile with its source being in Lake Victoria or Great Lakes region, and second, the Blue Nile with source in Ethiopian highlands. These two meet at Khartoum, Sudan to form the main Nile River, which then empties into the Mediterranean Sea through a vast, fertile delta in Egypt. Also, did you know this river is so long it has a very diverse wildlife, including a crocodile known as a large Nile crocodile that reaches up to 6 meters. It also played a major role in ancient civilizations like in Egypt, where it became their lifeblood. Its annual flooding deposits rich silt, allowing for agriculture in the arid Sahara Desert. Not only in the past, but also in the present because it is a vital water supply and hydroelectric power. However, it now faces terrible issues including pollution, water scarcity, and dispute between resources among basin countries. Humans never fail to damage the earth. This time let's talk about names. So the longest name of a place ever recorded holding a title from Guinness World Record for the longest place name is Taumataufa Katangihanga Ko'au'au Otamatea Turapuka Ka Piki Maunga Horonuku Pokaifenua Kitanatahu, an 85-letter Maori that refers to a hill in New Zealand. Although it sounds weird and exaggerately long, it actually has a pretty wholesome meaning, translating as the summit where Tamatea, the man with the big knees, played his flute to his loved one. It has the same vibes as those anime with a whole sentence as a title. So this Taumatau is located near Porangahau in Hawke's Bay, North Island, New Zealand. Also, in some source, it is spelled with 95 letters instead of 85, and locals actually refer to it as Taumata Hill instead. Cause imagine a tourist asking you where that specific hill is, and you just go around telling, to get to the Taumata Whakatangi Hangakoau Awa Tamatea Turi Pukakapi Ki Maunga Horo Nuku Pokai Whenuaki Tanatahu. From here, just go straight, then left, then right, then whatever.